Imagine this. You've spent 3 months learning SQL. You can write joins, window functions, CTEs, and even solve difficult SQL problems on LeetCode. Confidently, you attend your first data engineer interview. But within just 10 minutes, the interviewer says, "We'll get back to you." Why? If SQL is one of the most important skills for a data engineer, why are so many SQL experts still getting rejected? That's exactly what we're going to uncover in today's video. Imagine it's 9 p.m. on a Friday. Millions of people around the world are finally done with work. They open Netflix, search for a movie, press play, and within seconds, social media explodes. Netflix is down. Thousands. Then millions of users can't watch anything. Engineers are suddenly pulled into emergency calls. Company executives are asking one question: what just happened? Now here's the interesting part. This wasn't caused by someone writing a wrong SQL query. In fact, SQL wasn't even the biggest problem. So if one of the world's biggest tech companies doesn't rely on SQL alone to keep its business running, why do so many beginners believe that learning only SQL is enough to become a data engineer? Today, we're going to investigate that mystery. Let's slow down for a moment. Every time you use an app, whether it's Netflix, Swiggy, Amazon, or your banking app, you leave behind digital footprints. You search for something. You click. You scroll. You make a payment. You cancel an order. Every single action creates data. Now imagine just 1 second, not 1 day, 1 second. Millions of people around the world are doing these actions at exactly the same time. That means millions of new pieces of data are being created every second. Businesses don't collect this data just because they like numbers. They use it to answer critical questions. Which movie should we recommend next? Which delivery partner is getting delayed? Which customer is about to leave? Is this payment genuine or fraudulent? If the answers are wrong or delayed, the business loses money. So the real business problem isn't writing queries. The real challenge is making sure the right data reaches the right place at the right time. Now let's go back about 20 years. Businesses looked very different. Most companies stored their information in a single database. Sales data was in one place. Employee data was in another. Customer information was relatively small. At the end of the day, reports were generated overnight. Managers came to the office the next morning, opened yesterday's sales report, and made decisions. In that world, SQL was incredibly powerful. You could ask the database questions like, "How many products did we sell yesterday?" Or, "Which region generated the highest revenue?" And that was enough. The amount of data was manageable. Reports didn't have to update every second. There were no smartphones continuously sending location updates. No food delivery apps processing millions of orders. No streaming platforms recommending content instantly. SQL solved the problems businesses had at that time, and it solved them extremely well. Interview tip. If someone says SQL isn't important anymore, that's simply not true. SQL is still one of the most valuable skills in data engineering. The real question is whether it's enough by itself. Then something happened that completely changed the technology world. The internet became faster. Smartphones entered everyone's pockets. Cloud computing made storage almost unlimited. Social media exploded. Online shopping became normal. Streaming replaced television. Suddenly, businesses weren't dealing with thousands of records anymore. They were dealing with millions, then billions, and eventually trillions. Think about Amazon during a festival sale. Customers are placing orders every second. Inventory is changing every second. Payments are happening every second. Delivery partners are updating locations every few seconds. Now imagine asking one database to handle all of that at once. It's like asking a single cashier to manage an entire shopping mall during a festival weekend. No matter how talented that cashier is, the problem isn't skill. The problem is scale. Businesses had entered a completely new world, but many were still trying to solve it using approaches designed for a much smaller world. Imagine you're working at a food delivery company during lunch hour. Thousands of orders, payments, GPS updates, cancellations, and restaurant requests arrive every second. Now ask yourself, does all this data magically appear in a SQL database? Not at all. It comes from mobile apps, payment gateways, GPS devices, restaurant systems, and APIs. Before SQL can answer any business question, someone must collect, clean, validate, and organize this data. Did you know? For many data engineers, writing SQL is only a small part of the job. Now the mystery becomes even bigger. If SQL is only one step in this journey, what happens before the data reaches the database? Who moves it? Who cleans it? Who fixes it when something breaks at 2 a.m.? And why are companies asking for Python, Spark, Cloud, and Kafka, along with SQL? In the next part, we'll follow the journey of a single customer click and discover what really happens behind the scenes before SQL ever gets a chance to run.